We're here once again. The fucking video just went live. There it is. I actually
Now we're
clicked the
really here.
button.
Good job.
Hey,
I almost clicked it again to hit
I
stop.
have, yeah, don't do that. I
Please
have
don't
all
do
the
that.
squiggly lines going on my squiggly line generator over
Yeah.
here.
the,
Great.
the magic of vibration in your ear bones that make you hear.
Yes. Fantastic.
Welcome, as
Welcome
the
to
robot
future.
said, to episode 49.
Yeah, we are almost at a year. Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
I
Yeah,
can't
dude.
believe that.
3 more weeks, man.
That's fucking sick.
Our
I'm so
first
excited.
episode was actually March 31st of last year.
Bruh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're gonna definitely, and you guys need to watch out for this because, and we'll put some stuff on social media. We were already talking about some special stuff to do for our 1 year, probably a special episode of some kind.
A very special episode. We'll talk about periods and stuff.
Yeah, it'll be wonderful. So, but yeah, guys, we got fucking Bryce on his weird red microphone and
It's
Jordan
not weird.
sucking
It's
on his
amazing.
electronic dick.
Always.
Yeah. I do want to get some before we get into story time here. I think that
Yeah.
there's
An elephant in the room.
some stuff going on with the show right now. Nothing bad. My schedule changed, again.
Yeah.
So
No more weekends.
yeah, weekends are gone. So this week we did run into a little scheduling mishap, but which
Forgive us.
currently
Growing
what day
pains
is
on the
it
new
right
schedules.
now?
Monday.
Monday. Well, technically Tuesday. It's
Tuesday.
after midnight.
Okay. So normally the show would have been out days ago. So my fault. So
Well, I mean,
be...
it's your job's fault, so we'll blame them. Let's roll up into there and burn the building down.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Oh, whoops.
Me and company
I'll call up
redacted
the
still
guy.
have a pretty good relationship.
Okay, I'll call up the guy then.
Couple people I could do without, but other than that, we're good.
No.
So also, and there's another thing I want to talk about here in just a second, but yeah, so watch for schedule changes. We'll put stuff up on social media as it happens. For whatever reason, we're bad at that. We try.
Yeah.
So when I say we'll put stuff on social media, we probably won't. So make sure that you fucking subscribe. So this way
Maybe
your
if you guys
phone
call us
tells
out on that
you-
bullshit and
Yeah.
like hit us up on social media,
You actually
maybe we'll
email us
change. Hashtag blame the victims. Fuck you guys.
Jesus.
We are the victims.
We
Y'all
are the
don't talk to
victims. I agree.
I just
So
want love.
also, there's another thing I want to point out. So, and I'm going to my brother-in-law, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jimmy. Jimmy's badass. I love Jimmy. He's my sister Kathy's husband, and he's one of those people that when you start hanging out with, you could just sit there and just talk for a long time, about whatever subject you happen to be talking about.
Yeah.
And it annoys my wife because she knows that if we get together, we're gonna be
You won't stop.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So he fucking messages me the other day,
Okay.
right? And it was essentially calling me out on you guys remember like an episode or two ago when I said how I hate weekends?
Yeah.
Do you remember why I said I
this is this is the drywall people?
All that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Do you remember why I said it? What did you say, Jordan?
Because you will put up drywall on your day off.
Yeah. Which we didn't put drywall
And because
up.
people
I was
ask you
supposed
for
to
help on the weekend because you're free.
Yeah,
I was
you
supposed to go help with the drywall.
Right.
So but I helped my cousin with the thing. Now, preface, right? Obviously nobody wants to go and do manual labor. I didn't really mind. And that's where this whole story brings me to is that in our show we are going to talk shit about everything we do probably. And I just want to make sure that nobody gets upset. And if you do get upset, message me or Bryce or Jordan directly and let us know.
Message me, it'll be hilarious.
Yeah, don't message Bryce if you have feelings.
Yeah. It's all lighthearted though. It's all in good fun.
So
We're just trying to be entertaining. Don't mind us.
exactly. So we wanted to point that out. Some things we wanted to bring up. So the other fucking thing. Oh my god, hold on, real quick, because I just had a squirrel moment. I did some Disney this week.
Okay.
Yay. All right. Cool.
And man, it was such an interesting Disney trip.
As it
yeah.
always is.
It always is. It was actually I didn't get magic at a Disney that day.
Oh, but it's
got
the most
pissed?
magical place on earth.
I know Disney World. Right?
Disney World.
Which, by the way, I have Chloe walking around while we're at Disney going Disney World. It's
I'm so
fucking
fucking
hilarious.
proud of her.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Gold
then
star on the
Skylar,
fridge.
Skylar
at
had
my
her friend
house.
with her this week. So they just kind of walked ahead of us. They were like, "Oh my god!"
I don't know anything at all.
And me and Chloe were like, "Disney World." And my
God.
wife's like, "Jesus."
Disney World. Boo.
So anyway, fucking we get to Disney. We
Mhm.
bring Skylar's friend with us, right?
Yeah.
We had to add her to our fast passes,
Oh, makes
which
sense.
turned out to be like a 35-minute ordeal.
Wow. That
Wow.
sucks.
I don't know if the girl never used a computer before. I don't fucking know. Right. So I'm like, all right, we're
Okay.
so it was bad, like bad. And I was like, so how's it going? And she's like, it's just
How are things?
we're just gonna click through it again. I'm like,
Oh my lord.
she's like, how does this time sound? And I'm like, bitch, I would not have said, can we add her to my fast passes if I was just like, hey, let me reschedule everything at different times.
Yeah.
Like, the reason I walked in here, waited in line to talk to you, and I'm allowing you to click the same button 15 times is because I wanted you to add her. I wanted you to Disney her onto my fast passes is what I wanted.
Put the magic in. Call Tinkerbell.
Disney
Put
is
some fairy dust on this shit.
Disney's expensive, and it pissed me off that they were unable to just be like, here you go. Right. But I was like, don't
Shut up,
overreact. Maybe it's a system issue. Maybe it's not possible. Obviously not her fault. So then Skylar and her friend were in the park now. Skylar and her friend go off and do something, ride a ride or something. So we're like, oh, we're going to go to Dino Land. And there's this roller coaster in Dino Land. It's like a little kids coaster.
Mhm.
It's like the
Yeah, I know
Time
that one.
Whirl or some shit.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Chloe loves this ride.
It's an awesome ride.
She's been on it many times.
I must say, even though it's a kid's ride, it's top tier for me too.
Oh,
'cause
yeah, no.
It's like a
fun.
a cheap carnival ride in Disney, and it's like a fun little
Yeah.
I didn't get
Except
to ride
for-
that one last time I was there. I was kind of pissed, but
It's pretty dope. You should. So we're going to get on the ride, right? We're walking, and a guy stops us, and he's like, "Oh, she has to check her height." And I'm like, "All right, sure, fine. We've been on it before, whatever." She goes over there, and he then proceeds to slide his hand in between her head and the bar. Her head is the width of his hand lower than the bar.
That's weird.
And he's like, so, I mean, he's like, man, so she's too short. I'm like, seriously? I'm like, we've been on this ride like 10 times. He's like, not today. And I'm like,
wow.
oh,
I was like, excuse
really?
me? I said, we're pass holders and we've been here many times and
Yeah.
she's been on this ride many times.
And you just like pushed her head down.
And I look exactly, and that's how I felt, right? But honestly, she stood up and she was like a nut hair short, right?
Okay.
Which I mean, okay, I get it, right? He's just doing his job. I wasn't trying to be mad at him, okay? But the hand thing pissed me off a little bit, and
Yeah.
then this is what topped it, right? I look down at Chloe, and she knows what's happening at this point.
Yeah.
You know, she's not
Yeah.
stupid, right? She's 6, but she's not dumb. Her eyes are starting to tear up. I'm like, oh man, okay. So I look at the guy. I was like, seriously, man? I was like, we've been on this ride a lot. I don't understand what the problem is. He's like, man, she's just too short. I was like, okay, well then I'll tell you what. You tell her that. To which
Well
he
played.
just proceeded to say, you're too short.
Yeah.
I almost decked him. I was like, are you kidding me? Shouldn't you have said, I'm so sorry, princess. You're just a little too short for it, or something like
Right.
that.
Did
Like
we buy it?
and he didn't, and it pissed me off. Now, I'm not saying that it was wrong that she was too short. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Though
But he couldn't
apparently
handle that
now
She'll
she's
just-
too
I'll just
short,
make
but
sure she
wasn't
wears-
before.
No, I'll just make sure she wears boots
Yeah.
when we go to Disney, and she'll be tall enough. Like that's what we're working off of here, and that's one of the reasons that it makes me so mad is we're talking about a half an inch. You know what I
Right.
mean? So depending on what kind of like, it's not like they make you kick your shoes off when they measure you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it frustrated me. So
understandable though. Like he handled that
but
really
then the
shitty.
way he handled it with her, and then Shayna grabbed the front of me because apparently I looked angry, and I just mouthed some mean words to him, not out loud, and I made sure, and I kept eye contact with him. Like if we weren't, like I wanted to say, first of all, don't ever put your hand on my kid's head again.
Yeah.
First of all, and second, how about you don't be an asshole to a 6-year-old who's now sad because she's been on this ride many times and we walked all the way over here to this part of the park to get on this ride. Like, why are you being an asshole? But whatever. Instead,
that's fucked up.
I then showered her with money to play games with, and she was fine.
Perfect. Well played.
But
Well played, indeed.
But man, and that wasn't like the last time that I had a bad experience at Disney that day. So then because that was Magic or Animal Kingdom, we went to Epcot later on.
Yeah.
Skylar and her friend are like, "Oh, we want nachos." So
Okay.
like, all right, fine. So we go get in the line for nachos, order nachos.
$12 nachos.
They were, but they're pretty bomb. But they were.
Yeah.
So order 39.
Okay.
And then, but then I see 40, 41, 44. They're all getting served. Now it's different things. And then I see, and I'm like, oh, it's probably, waiting on chips or something.
Yeah.
Then I see like 45 go out with chips
With nachos?
in it. And I'm like, so I asked the guy, I'm like, hey man, we're episode. Oh, fucking. I'm like, we're
Come on, podcast
we're
guy.
order. I know, right? Hey, podcast guy. Fucking episode 49 over here. But I'm like, hey, probably not actually Mexican guy that looks Mexican. Come here a second. And he comes over and he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, I'm this. And he's like, oh, it'll be done soon. I'm like, all right, fine. So then another 2 people behind me order and get what they order.
What the fuck?
And I'm like,
shit.
So then I see a guy in like not dressed in the costume. You know how they like wear their costume?
Yeah.
He's like in a black collar shirt. And I'm like, manager. I was like, sir, come here. And he comes over and I'm like, excuse me, we're this order.
We noticed other people got nachos.
Yeah. And he was
They were
like
behind me.
He's like, let me go look. Comes back with fucking nachos. I was mad, right? I was like, okay. I was like, I just want to let you know we've been standing here for at least 20 minutes. And he goes, actually, it's been 10. And I was like, how about I'm sorry for the inconvenience, you fucking piece of shit. I was so mad. I was like, and
these are not the Disney, because the whole point of Disney is the customer service is supposed to be top tier. Like when you get Disney on a resume, it's a big fucking deal because they have the customer service college. That's the whole point of Disney is it's supposed to be, even if, because I'm not big on, the customers are always right culture, but at Disney where they make that their thing,
that's what
you come to expect it. Yeah.
And I was
it's been 10,
say to the
so you
guy?
can't be pissed.
What did I say to the guy? Actually, what I said was it definitely wasn't 10 minutes, but I'm not going to spend time to try to prove it to you. And we just walked off and got our stuff, and he was just like, I'm like, yeah. I was upset, but I mean, I was standing there with my 13-year-old and her friend. I'm not going to curse the guy out at freaking Epcot,
especially after
I would have. Fuck that.
The ride height debacle of 2018.
Fuck that. I would have fucking.
Yeah, right. Well, honestly, if it was gonna be anybody, it would have been the Dino Land guy. First of all,
you touched my fucking kid's head and pushed her head down. Like, granted, even when she was up, she didn't make it. But fuck you.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Like you just wanted to destroy a little girl's dream. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, that was him having a bad day, being an asshole about it.
Because first of all, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. It makes me mad. So, like I said, boots to Disney for her. And now a couple of friends of mine that
stopwatches for the managers at the kiosks for food.
Or something like I get it that my order was probably lost or something, or the ticket fell or something like that. But the last time we were there at a different restaurant, I did the pre-order food thing on my phone, right? On my PBnJ podcast picture, right there, phone.
If you guys want a sticker,
let us know. So put it on your phone. Be cool.
Yeah, be cool kids.
Anyway, I actually sat there and waited for my food in the quick pickup line because I ordered it from the app, and they've lost my order too. So that's not the first time that's happened at Disney. It was a different park. I had 3 bad things happen in one day that were customer service related. Not like bad things like something bad happened or I didn't like this or I didn't like that. It was and you guys know like what I do for a job, actually what you guys do for a job is extremely customer service related.
It's 90% of it. I may be a tech support representative and I'm supposed to fix shit, but it's more about the customer's perspective of whether or not it's fixed and how they felt about me than whether or not their shit got fixed.
Exactly.
It's 100% customer service.
So we are taught in our jobs be like Disney. And
like literally something that's been said by a manager to me before.
Several times.
Yeah. Like,
so
uphold the Disney standard. You live in Florida. What's wrong with you? Like that type shit.
Exactly. So when and not for nothing, but we're pass holders. So like I pay money to go to the park all the time. Like
a lot of money.
And we blow money while we're there too.
And not only that, but I'm actually buying food here. So you're getting more money out of me. It's not like I'm like packing a lunch.
Well, actually, after these experiences, we've decided that other than maybe getting like a snack or something special, we're gonna bring bologna, man, because I'm done with it. It's too expensive for it to not be awesome.
True.
And honestly, I think that, and I just didn't want to deal with it that day. But I think, and what do you guys think? Should I say something? Should I like next time I go to Disney complain about it and see if I get something for free?
I would send them a letter. I would send them a legit like letter in the mail.
Absolutely, dude.
Because nothing says I had a bad experience that I actually took the time to put a stamp on something and throw that shit in the letterbox. Because I can guarantee something will be done about it.
You'll get a response.
Yeah.
You will definitely get a response.
Yeah.
And then if you want to try and double dip, you can complain about it afterwards. Because you know what? The person at the kiosk who's taking your complaint doesn't know about the letter.
That's true. And then the person that gets the letter is not the lady at the kiosk.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, life hacks with the PBnJ podcast.
Yeah, right. Scam hacks. Oh man, guys. So anyway, I just wanted to for some reason, I don't know what I said that ticked my brain to go into that extreme Disney rant. To be honest, I was going to talk about some asshole employee nonsense at Disney today, but that was for later. I went on a rant, so you guys may talk for a little bit now. I'm done.
All right. Well, I finally joined the hundreds of thousands of people who have seen Black Panther. I've been trying to go for the past couple weekends.
I'm a bit jealous because I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil it for me. Asshole.
I'm not. There's going to be no spoilers. It's a fairly new movie. I hate spoilers. So PBnJ podcast listeners, if you haven't seen it yet, one, what are you doing with your lives? And two, I'm not going to spoil anything for you because I want you to experience it because it's fantastic. It is by far the best Marvel movie that has come out. And that's pretty big saying. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, fantastic movie. The Avengers, fantastic movies. Though,
that the next movie is going to destroy that, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. I do not know. I can't say that for sure. I think that it has has the possibility, but I would say that the story for Black Panther and how they handled it, it wasn't. The only thing I'll say, and it's not like spoilers or anything, but the only thing I will say is that this wasn't a Black Panther story. This was a Wakanda story. This was about the nation of Wakanda, its political structure, its culture. This is talking about little bits of pieces.
Even the main villain really is not. He's just trying to rule, right? I mean, so. Everybody knows that story. I guess people that don't know comic stuff probably don't know.
Well, they don't, and then that's fine. But it's really interesting how they handled everything that went on. And there are some lines in that movie, especially from the villain Killmonger, that there were people in the theater who were just like, "Damn," because the dude just dropped bombs on people. Like he was fucking savage with how he handled some of his stuff, and it was fantastic. And it's a really well written villain, in that you can be sympathetic with the villain and understand their side of it. And even the actor who plays as Black Panther says that he agrees more with the villain than his own character.
Huh.
And it's
That's interesting.
It's fucking amazing. And just, it's so well written and it's so good. And all the characters are fantastic. And the effects are on point. The new suit for the Black Panther looks amazing, and they added this thing to it. Again, not really a spoiler.
Yeah,
but
no,
this is more like a special effects thing.
Yeah.
They added a feature to the suit to where it can absorb kinetic energy and then re-release it outward, kind of similar to how Captain Shield can at will absorb
do whatever the fuck it
energy.
wants.
It's like fucking magic.
At will, defy all laws of physics. It makes no sense.
I jumped off a building. As long as I land on my shield, I'm fine. Like that kind of stuff.
However, sometimes bombs affect it, and sometimes they don't. Everyone, calm down.
It's kind of a there's definitely some science that we do not understand, but
the law of picking and choosing.
But the visual effects for how they did it was when a section of the suit, let's say a bullet hit him, right?
Yeah.
That section would light up with like this purplish glow that's like woven into the suit. And the way it looked made it look really not only badass, but it's kind of like when you go paintballing and you can see where people get tagged. They were really good about being really accurate with where it was.
Buttload of money into it then.
They put a buttload of money into it and they paid attention. They didn't just randomly like have parts of the suit light up. Like you could look at the suit and you would see, oh, that's when he got shot in this scene, or that's when this happened, or whatever during this fight sequence. And then, you know, when they released it, it looked cool as shit. And it was one of those things where, I mean, all Marvel movies have comedy, you know, interwoven in them. And the comedy didn't feel too forced. Like some Marvel stuff, like
super cheesy.
You get a little bit of a cheese situation on it.
Well, yeah.
But like this movie, it was
the last Thor movie. You seen Ragnarok? Yeah, there's a good bit of cheese in there.
There was a lot of cheese in
it.
I still loved it, but there was a lot of cheese in that. This one, all the comedy is very organic, which I loved. And a lot of it was more because of like the relationships between these people. And you get a real good idea of who each character is without them having like a 5-minute monologue telling everything about them.
You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for what's her name? Zuri to meet Tony Stark. I want that to happen. I mean, I don't want to blow it. I'm not even going to explain what I just said. If you don't fucking know what I'm talking about, figure it out or watch the movies. I haven't seen this one yet. I know a lot about it. I know the basic story, and then, you know, I'm not a spoiler guy. So like, we're not spoilering things for you guys right now, to be honest. I'm going to have Bryce tell me every fucking bit of this movie later on, but
yeah.
But it really is. It's ranking high. Now, I will say it sparked a like a cultural thing, you know, with a lot of African Americans and well, I mean, really black people everywhere, really, because there's like this cool, because it's not, and a lot of people are like, well, what about Blade? What about this? And you know, and I say that too, like it's not exactly the first superhero, but you know, this movie,
no, it's not. But this is the first like
of its scale.
This is the first
of its
real
scale.
like triple blockbuster. We threw money at this. Not only that, but Blade was a black superhero. This was like 99% black cast, which has never happened in a film of this scale. Like it's amazing. And plus all the different cultures that they've interwoven from Africa as part of Wakanda, like just things like the interior design for the buildings. They'll have like a form of graffiti art in one area, and they'll have like a traditional, like
the movie did this. The movie did this because, you know, it was going, they realized how much money it was going to make them. In reality, though, it's based off of a fictional place. It is a fictional place. It is, none of it's real. The
you don't say.
All their culture and stuff isn't real. And believe it or not, you can find some awesome interneting where people maybe let the cultural power get to them a little hardcore, too much.
Yeah.
And thought it was all real. The place, anyway. That
there's people who are like, Wakanda's real. You know what? What I love about that, even though, guys, please,
it's a fucking comic movie.
Google it for 2 seconds and you'll be fine. But what's so cool about this movie?
The power behind it.
Well, there's the power behind it, but also just the fact that they have something like that to look up to. Like it's a fairy tale magical land of this super advanced technological superior race of people living in harmony.
Yeah.
And it's really cool just from like a utopia standpoint. Like they've got a pretty badass utopia. Like,
Oh yeah, no, they do. But the other thing that you find out from other stories though is that they're on the brink of war with each other all the time though.
well, I mean, it's in the comics, yes. In the
Is it
Marvel
more
universe,
harmonious in the
in
movie?
the movie universe, it's a lot more harmonious. There's a lot less dissension. I don't want to get into spoilers, so I can't go into everything, but there's just a lot of factors at play, but everyone pretty much plays along and they're all down.
That's
And
good.
it's, I really like how they handled it. I really liked the message that they brought with this movie. And what the real, like, the villain wasn't actually the real, like, problem of the film, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like the real, it's more of like a bigger issue at play, and I absolutely loved how they handled it. And what I loved was, even though this is weeks later, this movie's been out for a while now,
Yeah.
there are still people showing up dressed up in traditional African clothing. They are showing out, they are ready. I fucking loved it. There was two different groups who were showed up, fully dressed out, ready to go. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever, you know?
Yeah, that
And
is cool.
I love this movie. For me, it's the best Marvel movie. We'll see. We'll see if the next one can handle it. It all depends on what kind of scale and what they do. I
It's gonna
think that
destroy it.
technologically, I think that they could definitely contend. I just got to see how well it's written, because this even
all they
just the
have to
writing in it was fantastic.
All they have to do is follow the first movie. Just needs to be the Thanos movie, and then the second movie is the get the glove off Thanos movie. As long as they just do, because that's actually a comic. There's two
Right.
comics. As long as they follow those as close as they can, everything should be fine.
I agree. So we'll see how that goes. But I will
Hopefully.
say, Black Panther 2's already been announced. Hype as fuck. Looking forward to that,
course.
because that's gonna be a good fucking movie. I mean, I knew it was going to be, but like,
Now, what's funny is though, I've talked to people who said the hype is not what it was for Black Panther. It was a good movie, but don't agree with your level of hype. So, I mean, not everybody might. I mean,
yeah, not everybody will, and that's okay. I mean, people are allowed to have
you catch feels. Yeah, you can have stupid opinion. You catch feels over things like and some things may affect you, not Jordan or me or whatever. So
Yeah.
we haven't seen it yet. I might see it and be like, it was really cool, but like it for all the different things than you like it for.
Yeah. Well, like, just the technology alone, just because we're nerds, that alone I think will sell it for you, because
Oh, dude,
they go into all kinds of
the
stuff.
car thing.
Bro, it's so cool.
Yeah. See, I seen that.
Yeah.
I seen a clip of that. That's dope. We can't talk about it, but
Obviously not. But
Tell me after.
everyone go see that movie so we can talk about
I
it.
do have
Yeah,
one quick question though.
Yeah.
About characters that we've seen in old movies that we know are
Mhm.
there.
Right?
Bucky and Claw. Are they in the movie?
No. Oh, Claw is. Bucky's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Claw is in the movie. Bucky is not in the movie.
All right. I was just curious.
And yeah, Claw is such an interesting character in general. And they really let his freak flag fly in this movie.
Did they?
Like, in the previous movie, you got a good idea of who he was. This movie, they just let him. I swear, they just let the actor just do whatever he wanted. It was
Good.
great.
I'm a big Andy Serkis fan, so I'm glad that they gave him some more air, or I'm hoping they gave him more airtime in this than they did in Ultron, because you only got like 45 fucking seconds of him.
Yeah, he got more than 45 seconds. He was a decent plot point.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
So he's good in it. But that was one of my only qualms, is that Bucky is not to be seen throughout the film, which is weird for me.
Doesn't make
but I
much
can't go too
sense,
much
though.
into it.
Well, listen, it's a big place. He's
Well, yeah,
not going to
he's
be in his
probably stored
tube in the
somewhere
same room. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I agree. It's just when you watch it, I can talk to you about
Well,
it.
because the timeline of this, though,
Like a week after.
exactly, like it just like this just happened. Spider-Man is happening. Guardians of the Galaxy is happening. and
it's all
Thor is happening.
They're all
like,
happening
while
at the same
this
time.
is happening.
Yeah, this is all like, as well as in the Marvel universe, all these events are happening in separate places, and I think they did that specifically so that way they couldn't have it to where one would call on the others, because everyone had their own shit going on.
That makes sense, because everything has to be pretty much caught up by the time we get to Infinity War.
Well, yeah, because
everything has to be caught up, and the fact that everyone, when you have a group of superpowered people who have all agreed to work together in some form or another, it's one of those situations where now you have to write around that to where, well, what if we want them to have their own story? Why don't they just call their superhero friends to come and fuck shit up?
Which annoys me with TV shows like The Flash and Arrow or whatever.
Yeah, they've all worked together and had crossovers. Just hit him up.
I'm like, hit up the Flash real quick and he'll come and do a thing. It'll take a millisecond.
Because he can go to your town in a millisecond. He's the fastest man on earth.
You know, so but yeah, the movies are fucking awesome. I'm super excited for the next Avengers though, because it's gonna be like Thor falling through the ceiling of the where Doctor Strange is, right? Which is gonna be why Tony Stark flies in, and then that's going to be Doctor Strange and Tony Stark meeting each other for the first time,
which is going to be so fucking cool.
And then there's already
I love both their characters so much, and I think
there's already a scene in the fucking trailer where you see Doctor Strange like form something, and then Iron Man fly through and grab it and like fly. I'm like, oh my god. Avengers fight scenes. I love the Avengers fight scenes.
And that's my whole thing is like, awesome. I want 90% of the Avengers. Like
dude, Avengers 1 was a fucking amazing film.
It
was. It really was, yeah.
And I want 90% of the Avengers film though. We know who these characters are. Obviously, I want dialogue because that's one of the biggest things for me in a film. Course, But I want so much fighting.
Yeah, I hope
it's an Infinity War. I want to see,
and I want technical stuff happening too. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see fucking Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit, which because they already pretty much confirmed through toys that it's going to have the legs set, right? That come off the back of it.
I do want to see a return of the Hulkbuster.
It's going to be in the movie.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Although there is question of who's wearing it. Is it Tony Stark in the Hulkbuster, or is it Iron Man in the Hulkbuster, or is it somebody else in the Hulk in the Hulkbuster?
Which would be sick.
Because the way it lands, apparently, like somebody was like,
they did analyze, and they're like, it landed differently than how when Tony Stark was in it, so it might be the Hulk.
Well, because they compared it to how the Hulk lands when he jumps, and it was super similar, and I was like, oh, that'd be so fucking cool.
That would be cool.
But
I actually want to know also, because the Hulk has shown in the films that he's more in control of himself now, and in the comics for the Hulk, eventually the Hulk and the Doctor basically have like a kind of symbiosis,
like an understanding,
to where the Hulk actually gains access to the intelligence of the Doctor.
There's this whole thing with he gets smart. He can reach a point of so angry that like super extreme angry Hulk can talk and stuff too.
Yeah. And I want to see if
like World Buster Hulk apparently can just stomp on a planet and destroy a planet. Yeah.
Ooh, hell yeah.
World Buster Hulk is fucking insane.
I would like to see that.
I would love to see the Hulk in control of himself to where he can actually like talk more and actually like plan things out, because while I liked the dynamic to where the Hulk was like that loose cannon where they were always like, all right, we're gonna use him, but like someone keep an eye on him, because if he starts freaking out, we gotta go sing him a lullaby, please. Like that dynamic's been explored enough.
Team member, go woo him.
I know, right? But I feel like that dynamic has been explored enough. And I feel like I need a Hulk that's 100% in cohesion with the unit,
or for the war. The story they've started, without being too spoilery, I guess, because Thor's kind of a semi-new movie, so I guess spoiler alert. But
it's on DVD now, so you should have watched it.
Yeah, it's on DVD. It's safe.
The Hulk doesn't want to give up to Banner, and Banner thinks that if he becomes the Hulk again,
he's not going to be able to.
Be able to go back. So I mean, that might not be a good thing, you know.
And it's possible that maybe for a while that they might have to end up fighting the Hulk. But if the Hulk's in the Hulkbuster suit, like we're thinking he might be, I have a feeling that that's the result. That because that means that Tony is giving up one of his contingency plans to power up the Hulk. That's what's making me think that maybe him and Banner will finally have that cohesion and reach that point.
Yeah, we might see that in Infinity War.
Because for Tony because Tony is a paranoid motherfucker in the Marvel universe. That's the whole reason why he wanted Ultron, was because he was like, this is going to happen.
Well, there's pre-stories. Did you know they released pre-stories that you can check out right now? They're in comic form, where he's just been brooding and worrying about the vision that Scarlet Witch showed him, and freaking out about it and making new suits and making new suits and making new suits. Yeah,
I didn't know
quite
that.
a bit of that though, like in the movies, but I didn't know they.
Oh yeah, we saw it in the movies, but I didn't know that there was a pre-story. This is the pre-story for Infinity War.
Yup.
Specifically. Okay. I'll have to read those.
Check that out.
But guys, I think that I think we should take a right turn down a different road, only because we could talk about Marvel movies literally
for the whole
podcast.
This will be the Marvel podcast.
Exactly. So
PBnJ on Marvel.
I think maybe we'll take a quick break.
Okay.
Maybe get ourselves maybe try to get on some type of rail, I guess.
We've been consistent in what we talked about, all 2 topics.
All 2
I mean, we talked about Marvel that whole time, so that was a rail.
That was
and I tried to do things earlier and it ended up somewhere.
Yeah, so take that.
It lasted more than 5 minutes, one topic.
Take that, interwebs.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll take a quick break and then we'll be back.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
And stopping recording.
Thank you.
Boop.
Okay. Hey there, zero video viewers. Watch us. Why are you not watching us?
Okay, good. There's 0 video viewers. All right, people who watch the video later, skip ahead a little bit because I'm about to go into spoilers now.
Oh yeah.
So fucking Black Panther, bro. So 1, Killmonger. Fucking cool.
Yeah. Dude, does he have a badass suit too?
Yes. And it's something that they did a little bit of foreshadowing for, and I loved how they handled it. Because essentially, at one point, Black Panther's sister is the head of the technology group for the Wakandans. She is like, she's like Tony Stark level genius.
Yeah, that's who I want to meet, Tony Stark.
Same. Because I think they would fucking nerd out. But they she talks about, hey, we've developed a new suit, your old suit, you have to put it on. Oh, someone's shooting at me, put your helmet on, kind of deal. And then now the suit is just a necklace that at any point will instantly like shoot out the suit onto you.
That's freaking awesome.
And it comes in different designs because she's very like, I'm a teenager, so I like to be hip, and she listens to like hip hop music while she's doing stuff, and even during like the very, very, very serious making him the king ceremony, there's this one part where they ask if anyone wants to challenge for the title of Black Panther and the king, because in their culture you can have a ritual battle at the time of a new king, and you can have your chosen champion take over. And fucking they're asking all the different people, and then she raises her hand, and everyone was like, oh shit, what, she wants to fight him for the title of Black Panther? And he's like, this corset is uncomfortable, and can we just move this along? And then the queen just kind of smacks her and she's like, stop it. So that was one of the kind of funny moments that I really liked. That was pretty organic, but that's just how she is. And she had 3 designs.
I wonder, technology wise, what would have fucking happened if they if the king was not assassinated, right? And they had come out to the world like they planned on to,
Well, major spoilers. That's the after credits scene for this film.
What do you mean?
Is him going up, because one of the big themes for the film is, should we be doing more to help people? Because we have the technology to do so. And while we need to protect ourselves, because once everyone knows that we have a giant mine full of vibranium, and also all of our weapons are practically on the same level of destruction as like nuclear weapons, and we could kill everyone in the the entire world if we wanted to. and now everyone's gonna be really paranoid about us once they find out, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Also, if someone gets their hands on our technology, because all of a sudden they're interested in us, they're gonna try and send spies to us and all this shit, and it's just a bunch of bullshit that we don't want to deal with. Because if they get a hold of it, then shit's gonna get real. Fucking so one of the major themes and one of the major reasons why Killmonger is the way he is his dad was the king's brother, who was a spy in the United States, and his brother fell in love with a regular United States woman, and he saw all the fucked up shit that was happening with black people, and just general oppression and everything like that, and it radicalized him to where he's just like, we should be doing more to help people because this is fucked up. These are our people as well, kind of deal. Yeah. And so he helped Claw steal the vibranium. And that's how Claw found out about Wakanda, how to strike, and all that stuff, which is just a tiny fraction of the vibranium. They have a mountain full of vibranium that they've been doing for thousands of years, and they barely scratched it. So vibranium is a very common substance only in Wakanda. Shit's intense. And so the king kills him, the brother, because the brother tries to kill someone else, and they agree never to talk about it again, and they leave. But his son was basically left, found his dad dead, and was just like, well, shit. And that kid was Killmonger. And so he is called Killmonger specifically because he goes into all these training programs, joins the military, black ops, the like nastiest, dirtiest black ops. And he has over like 250 confirmed kills, and he marks all of them on his body. And what I loved about how they did that is there's a tribe that they do what's known as, I think it's called scaling, where they actually will cut a person's back so that way the scars will look like an alligator's scales. That's basically what he does to his whole body for each kill. And just he's a very intelligent man, but he also is just super like, fuck you forever to like everyone, and he doesn't give a shit. It's intense. Like, he's a dick, but at the same time, like, I can understand where he was coming from. I'm glad he didn't win, because if it was real life and he won, I would be fucked, because I'm a white guy, so it's over for me. Like, legit.
You're like, it was my ancestors, I swear I'm cool, bro.
Yeah, because there's the scene I was talking about where people were like, oh shit, is early on in the movie.
You're Irish, your people were enslaved too.
Yeah, that'll work. So you fucking idiot. There's like a bingo card for that, by the way. But
really?
Yeah, there's a bingo card for like bullshit people say to like excuse stuff and be like, stop complaining about slavery. My ancestors were a slave type deal. But so anyways, fucking the opening sequence for Killmonger is he's standing in front of in a museum in London, and this lady comes over and he says, I hear you're the expert on these artifacts. Can you tell me about them? And so he asks about each piece, and he goes over to one in particular, and she says, oh, it's from this tribe. And he's like, nah, this is Wakandan, and that's actually made from vibranium. And she's just like, what do you mean? He's like, you know what? You don't even understand it. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to take it off your hands. And she was like, the stuff isn't for sale. And he was like, oh, so when your ancestors took it from them, do you think they paid a full price for it, or like a fair price for it, kind of deal? And there were people in the audience like, oh shit. And then he was like, all these security detail people, and you don't pay attention to what you put in your body, because she was drinking coffee. So he had poisoned the coffee at some point. And so she's on the ground. Fucking his team comes in. It's Claw and some nobodies. And they fucking
some red shirts.
Yeah, essentially. One of them is his girlfriend, and they fucking kill off
Did they give
security
him a hot
team.
Girlfriend?
Yeah, she was hot.
All right.
But
he deserves a hot girlfriend.
Well, I'll get into that in a second. Fucking so they kill off the security guards, and then the Claw is just like to the last one. He's like, "Come here, you can go. I'm gonna let you go. Just don't tell anyone." And the guy was like, "Okay." And he starts running off, and then Claw shoots him. And Killmonger's like, "Why didn't you just shoot him right there?" And he's like, "Oh, it's better to have the crime scene spread out. It makes us look like amateurs, kind of deal." So that was like one of those like, who else but Claw? So they steal that shit. And like that sequence is really like cool to look at, and it's like this whole mini heist movie in the beginning of the film, and it felt, it was really cool. But Killmonger's fucking savage. Like at one point, Claw has, well, all right, Jordan, this is super spoiler territory. You cool?
I love spoilers, dude.
Okay. So at one point, Claw has, after everything's said and done, Killmonger's like, all right, take me to Wakanda. And Claw's like, you don't want to go to Wakanda. I definitely don't want to go to Wakanda. Whatever. So Killmonger's like, actually, I do. And he kills off the two entourage people. Claw grabs his girlfriend and puts a gun to her head. And he's like, fucking, you better chill out or I'm going to end this Bonnie and Clyde routine you got going on. She's like, I'm sorry to Killmonger. He's like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. And he fucking shoots her. He shoots her in the head. Killmonger shoots her because she got in the way of his plans. This
Shoots
dude's
his own girlfriend?
He shot his own girlfriend to take away Claw's hostage. He doesn't give a fuck about
Holy
anything.
shit.
Killmonger's just like,
damn,
fucking, I am going to do what I need. And then he fucking kills Claw.
That's crazy.
Get out of here.
He fucking kills Claw.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I need to see this movie.
It's fucking amazing. Like, just, I don't know. It was so good. Like, Killmonger was just such a good villain. Because a lot of Marvel villains are kind of, for me anyway, they're pretty meh. Like, the problem is you don't want to see a villain have to try and catch up to the superheroes in power.
Yeah.
Because it's either that the superheroes need to get stronger so they can catch up to the villain's power, or the villain has to catch up to the superhero's power. Like Ultron, his was, I'm going to catch up to you guys. He's trying to upgrade himself. He's trying to make more of himself. He's trying to do that, do this. With this, it was very much, I'm equal to you, and fuck you, because I'm going to do this my way.
Yeah.
And just
cool.
how everything was and how they handled it was just so fucking good. So I don't know. I liked him as a character, and I felt like every character is well written, because they just were. I don't know what to say. It was really good.
That's awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Because there are characters in the Avengers movie, I don't even remember their names. You know, in this one, I know who these people are. It's amazing.
So obviously you liked the movie.
So he gives it a 6.
He would.
Out of 5?
He would give it a 6, though.
Out of 5? Well, that's the other thing is the only real qualm I had. There were 2 lines that, or there were 2 thoughts I had through the movie that were like, I can't not pick a movie apart. One was Bucky, because at one point Killmonger does take over the nation, and like, the queen, the sister, and all those people, they all like escape so that way they don't get killed by Killmonger and his rise to power. But I'm like, no one thought we should take the weird American out of cryo sleep, like, so that way he can escape with us and either be an ally or at the very least not get killed by the new king. Which, granted, there was like time constraints and stuff, but they didn't even try to address it. And that part bothered me.
But he's still superpower.
And he's still the Winter motherfucking soldier. Like, the dude was a badass. But anyways,
he probably could have been of some massive assistance,
or even just minor assistance. Like, he could have done something. He
would have been assistance.
Yeah. Period. So like, because he would want to pay off his own debt if anything. So he'd be willing to help.
Exactly.
First of all, but they didn't even like try and address his existence throughout the entire film. So that kind of irked me a little bit. Wasn't a big deal because in the moment you might not think about it. But again, this is a week after the event. So you just put that white boy in freeze. And there was even a line earlier in the film.
You just put that white boy in freeze.
Yeah. So it's like, he's there. He should be pretty fresh in your mind. It's not common when you have Americans in Wakanda. So there's that.
Oh, shit.
But then the other thing is, the other thing was, and this was more of like a one-off line throw-out thing, and it could be that I just don't know more about this particular tribe. There's one tribe that lives out in the mountains, and they're the dissenters from the other tribes. They're the ones who don't live entirely in harmony, because they feel like, you guys just sit there and watch the world, and I want to do something about it, kind of deal. And so when they leave the kingdom, so that way they can find refuge somewhere, they go to the mountains and they try and go there to try and get help and trying to raise an army to overthrow Killmonger.
Yeah.
Fucking there's a point where the leader says, if you say one more word, I'm gonna fucking kill you and feed you to my children. And then he waits and he's just like, I'm just kidding. We're vegetarians. And then he like laughs it off for a while. Like he's just happy about his own joke. Problem is earlier in the film, or, like a couple lines before that, he says that one of our fishermen found this. So if they're true vegetarians as a culture, why do they have fishermen?
Yeah.
So, but that could be that he was just saying his family was a vegetarian, like his particular family and not his whole tribe. So I don't know enough to be able to really say that that's like a something to tear apart. That was just something I noticed. That was just like, I'll give it a pass because I don't know. I don't know enough. Maybe he was just saying his family's vegetarian, so his kids wouldn't eat meat. But also, they're a tribe in the mountains, and there's vegetarians there. What are they growing in the mountains? Like it's a super advanced nation, and obviously they have like greenhouses and like technology. They could probably grow crops, but I'm still just like, there's still soil stuff. And while having vibranium's awesome, I don't know how vibranium would help with that in particular. But again, ignorance to the level of technology they have, because they have a lot of cool shit. But yeah, so those are my only things that I personally on my first viewing noticed. So on further viewings, I might be able to find more stuff to tear it apart, but it's incredibly rare for me to watch a movie.
I plan on soon going and seeing this movie.
You should. It's fantastic.
Okay, so Jordan, are we just doing? What are we doing for the break?
He's grabbing a drink.
Elevator music.
Okay.
Elevator music.
I'll be right back.
I'm gonna turn my fan back on because I'm not blowing those and it's hot in here. Sweat, baby, sweat. That's is effective strong. And you do the kind of stuff that only I think one of the things I'll do as a not segment, I think I'll start doing like mini movie reviews, but like spoiler ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'll always do ones that aren't like right then and there, but like maybe ones that people might have missed or are on DVD now. So is it worth watching on DVD kind of deal if I haven't seen it yet? And I'll be like, look, no. And here's why.
It's not worth it. And let me explain.
Yeah. Let me tell you why that's bullshit.
Let me tell you why it's something you don't want to do.
Let me tell you why you should just hit up the old box, if you know what I mean, for the streaming.
You got the streaming box.
Yeah. It's that one that is that you got on the computers where you can stream shit to yourself and it's beautiful. You know what I'm talking about. You got it. You got the box.
The streams box.
The streams box. Oh, I opened my schedule and it's so bright. Oh, that hurt my eyes.
That's funny.
So the next 2 weeks, my schedule's identical, which is weird. That hasn't happened. So I'm just like, why is it happening now? You know what I mean?
What I miss?
I opened up my schedule and my eyes melted.
Why?
Because it's so fucking bright. But my schedule, I had 2 days off in a row for this week. And then next week it's the same thing. And it's the same 2 days, Sunday, Monday.
Nice.
I'm wondering if they're going to start doing that. Because if they do, that would be pretty cool. Like, it's hard for me to work five days in a row now, though.
Is it?
Yeah, because I was on the 4x10 before, so 4 days
I missed
was
my
nice.
4x10.
And then, like, just working a few days in a row now is pretty draining for me. I can't stand people anymore. Like, I need something else. I don't know if I can continue to do phone tech support for much longer. Like, I'm already looking at other things because as much as I love working from home and everything,
People suck.
I'm super jaded now. Like,
Okay.
I can't. I want to beat people up over the phone.
You're fine.
It's hard not to. Some of these people come at me with some stupid ass shit, and they're mad at me because they're too dumb to operate something. It's
Remember,
just like,
you're still live videoing right now.
yeah, I have not said anything to incriminate myself or to let people know who I am or who I work for. All I'm saying is,
when we
fucking
come
dumb.
back, Jordan, do you want to talk about your thing first?
Yeah, we can.
And then Bryce, you'll talk about your thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll see where
And then
we're
we'll
at.
do the. Well, then at that point, we should have just enough time to do the 10 list you were talking about. And then we can end on that because I have a feeling we'll have a few things to say about some of those items.
Perfect. And I will bring us in.
Okay.
And okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm
I'm gonna start.
Ready.
I'm gonna start recording. I'm recording now.
I am recording as well.
Same as
Make sure your
why
squiggles.
did it start back here?
What happened?
When I started the next track, it started it underneath, but like way back at the beginning. So I'm gonna click after my current track.
Did it record anything?
Not over. It still opened a new track. It just recorded at the. You know what I mean? It put the track underneath, and my track was still intact. It's just. It won't. If I were to export that as is, without meshing it, it would fucking all play at the same time, and it would be awful. I'm now recording, and it's properly spaced, so we're good. All right, so I'm gonna finger bang you. You ready?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Three,
two, one, go.
And we're back. Welcome back from what I'm sure was an amazing trip down a very boring elevator. That's probably because we are too lazy to make any more ad touch videos or songs. So before we went to break, I know that we teased nothing, so you have no idea what this second half is. So I'm pretty sure Bryce and Jordan both had something they're going to talk about. Yeah. Jordan, we talked over you the whole time last before break, so why don't you fill our ear holes with your wonderful voice?
Yeah, so
luscious locks.
Nothing major. Nothing's gonna go on too long, but I was just scrolling through Facebook as I usually do, and I came across
probably naked.
Always, duh. Hand on my pants, imaginary. No, so I was looking, and we all have talked at great lengths in many episodes how we think crazy conspiracy theorists are very stupid, and they don't do a ton of research. Yeah, they don't do a ton of research before they make their blatant dumbass claims on YouTube or whatever.
Or they'll
flat earthers.
Or they'll do very specific research that'll only support their point and ignore the hundreds of thousands of different research, like peer-reviewed research that's been done that disproves whatever they found.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So what I found was essentially it's a guy who made a YouTube video using Google Earth. I guess he was scouring Google Earth to find something. And there's an island, a remote island called South Georgia. It's about 2,500
It's a little bit north of
miles.
Florida.
You,
You fucking
I
asshole.
fucking hate you. You dumbass. It's a remote island about 2,500 miles north or away. I don't know, north or whatever, but
in
it's
a direction.
in a direction 2,500 miles from Antarctica.
Okay.
And basically on Google Earth you can find it looks like, according to this guy, a crash landed UFO spacecraft.
And the
That he
Illuminati didn't
found-
take it out of Google Earth by now?
Right.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Before you continue, I'm pretty sure everything we see on Google Earth has already been seen and filtered by, the government, right? Looking
Or they
for
blur shit out that
specifically
they don't
that
want
kind
you
of
to see.
shit. Like you can't zoom in on China, motherfucker. Try. You
Nope.
Yeah,
can't.
try.
Don't let you.
Nope, there's a lot of stuff. Military bases
Same for
and
North
shit
Korea.
you can't zoom in on. So essentially what this is, and I'll show you guys on the camera in just a second, but it's basically, if you were to, let's say it's snowed, right? And you had like a good half a foot of snow in your driveway, just
Yeah.
clean powder, smooth snow. And you took a rock and you lightly threw it at an angle so that when it hit the snow, it kind of slid for a second before it stopped, and it leaves a trail. It basically looks like that.
Mhm.
And this guy thinks it's UFO spacecraft crashed and slid because that whatever that trail is like 1,000 meters long. So it had to be big and it was rolling for a while or whatever.
Okay.
And he goes on a rant on his YouTube video using Google Earth to show you that this UFO craft crash landed on this island, South Georgia. Now can you see that?
So
That's UFO.
if you're watching the video, because a lot of this is obviously most of our listens, all 8 of them, come from our audio version. So if you
Yes.
happen to watch if you want to see what Jordan's showing us right now, you have to check out the video.
Yeah.
And by see, I mean look at a bright, blurry picture of the front of his phone. I don't know.
That proves it's
Well,
a
it's
UFO spacecraft 100%. I have no doubts.
Difficult to see, but you get the gist of it, right? That because it's basically fucking white snow and a line with
Mhm.
something at the end of that line.
It's
So-
Spacecraft.
Yeah, right.
spoiler.
Goes on a let me see how long this video is. 13 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's
Using
suspicious
Google
for me.
Earth to show this UFO that has crashed and slid for 1,000 meters before it came to that halt. What this guy failed to do was just scroll up a little bit, where you see obvious mountain had obvious avalanche, and there's obvious 1,000 other fucking boulders every which way
Uh-huh.
in with all these fucking lines,
Hold
all
on.
these trails.
I really like that you looked at this picture 3 times and you were like, yeah, fucking avalanche. This guy studied it.
And made a YouTube video, which was strangely perfect for the new format for YouTube for how to make money. How the new formula for YouTube is it pays more for videos that are
Shorter.
like 13. No, it's longer now. 13 minutes or longer. Get more ad revenue than before. So it is. I think that this is an obvious like cash in on the dumb UFOers.
I
UFO
hope
truthers.
so, because you'd have to be really, really fucking stupid to really believe this. He said that it doesn't look like a typical trail made by a snowball or a piece of ice tumbling and rolling across
What
a
does a
hillside.
typical trail look like? Let's start with that.
He's an expert.
I'll show you what a
Involved.
typical trail looks like. That
It's the same
it
trail.
fucking looks like that. Okay. And then he goes on to say, I guess he does some whatever bullshit mathematical calculations to say that this is not a rock. It's not nothing
hard
like that. Nothing
place.
man-made.
It's something in between.
Right. And whatever
It's
it
just
is.
that meme of that woman looking around with formulas in front of her. And it's just
Right.
like an alien.
And he says whatever it is that crashed here and had that trail is 63 meters or 206 feet long.
Damn.
What?
Right?
Okay. That's big.
That's
Right?
fucking huge.
Big. But so he does all this math to calculate that and sees that it's a 1,000-meter long trail and doesn't figure to scroll up like it's Google Earth, so like a centimeter to see the big damaged, bashed up mountain
That's right above it.
right above it with 1,000 other same fucking boulders with the
in
same fucking come on.
Oh,
Didn't even try.
shit.
Like I appreciate the effort.
There's no effort.
want
Don't
to
appreciate this man's effort.
No, I'm just saying like the effort to scour all of Google Earth because I can imagine that took fucking forever and try to find something obscure or abnormal. But come on, dude. Like you scoured all of Google Earth and you couldn't scroll up a little bit.
What did you expect though? We're talking about somebody who thinks that it's possible to find any new information using Google Earth, first of all. So,
yeah. And there's like Reddit's dedicated to finding weird shit on Google Earth. But every single thing that they found that they thought was like sketchy has been disproven from what they thought it was. Like there was one thing where people thought they saw someone disposing of a body because there was like a bunch of like wetness on this dock and someone like tossing something suspicious, and it ends up that it was a guy who was playing with his dog and he had tossed his dog into the water, and all the water behind them was when the dog came back up and ran over to him and he tossed the dog in again, and like shit like that. So it's just like Google Earth does not have the secrets that you seek, my guy.
Plus, Google has some of the most powerful computing equipment running. Nothing is getting on Google Earth that shouldn't fucking be there.
Nope.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
and
fucking 18.
It's 2018. We're gonna talk about that soon.
I will say though, Google Earth on VR, cool as shit.
I can imagine.
You done that?
I have, and they have tours where people have actually gone through certain things and like took the 360-degree pictures. So I've walked around in like caves and shit. It's so cool.
That's pretty neat.
So I hope that if he was doing the Google Earth research, he was doing it in VR.
Yeah,
he would have been able to look up and
obviously he wasn't doing it in VR because he would have just simply looked up.
I think
he probably
he
wouldn't have though. Listen, he wouldn't have looked up. The reason he wouldn't have looked up is because he also did not scroll up, which was simply easier almost.
Your mouse has a wheel.
I can guarantee he did. He didn't care. He knew this was an easy cash in that would generate views because conspiracy theorists take everything at face value, which is ironic for someone who says you shouldn't take things at face value, that there's more underneath. And then they just take every theory at face value. Yeah, fucking flat earthers.
Great point.
Fucking I think that this was just one big cash grab. That's why it was 13 minutes long, because that's like
how many views does the video have?
I don't know. It's a good question. Let me find out.
I would like to know that because that would give us a good idea whether or not it worked or not.
I mean, it's got to have a bunch, but
it has to have a decent amount, and especially now that there's been like a thing around Facebook on it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is anything that's put on Facebook for a conspiracy was put on there by the conspiracy people specifically to get views.
Yeah.
Like this isn't, I found this conspiracy and I really believe it. Let me give it to everyone.
Well, I mean, according to Poppy, we should be doing it for the clicks. We want the clicks. Just saying.
Poppy.
That's true.
I want the clicks. 100%.
Yeah, all the fucking time.
Oh my god, now the video doesn't want to fucking load.
Get right.
Oh, get better internet, Jordan. Jeez.
This is your fault.
Bro, Bright House, I'm telling you. It's garbage.
So
there we go.
I don't know, man. That's we'll throw the video. Actually, you know, we're not going to throw this Crackpots video link up. Never mind.
Nope.
Dude, I enjoy good conspiracy theory, though. You guys know that. I mean,
100%. When it's like a real theory. This is just, I found something on Google Earth that looks like alien stuff. Like, there's no conspiracy even. It's just like, yeah, okay, you saw something.
It's
What's
not
your
even
point?
like the government's hiding this secret
It's
base.
2.1 million views.
Holy shit.
And it's been 1 week. It was uploaded
It worked.
1 week ago.
It worked. That guy is racking in ad revenue, and he's laughing his ass off.
Well,
That is not a 13-minute video without
Jordan.
any kind of backing.
What?
Jordan, play the video real quick and tell me if there's a video or ad in the beginning of it.
Well, I can't tell you that because I have YouTube Red. So no ads.
No ads. I guarantee there is. I guarantee there's at least 3 ads throughout the video. That's
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
That's my guarantee.
Do either of you not have YouTube Red?
No,
I
I
have
have
Send you the link.
I have YouTube Red. So and he ad blocks.
That's
but-
true.
I only turn that off in another browser for YouTubers I like.
Nice. Does it
Fuck
not?
that.
Do they not get paid if you don't see the ad?
Correct.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
That's how it
Yeah.
works.
That's how it works. So for
Unless it's
YouTubers I
YouTube
like,
Red, because YouTube Red they get paid more when we watch their stuff.
yeah, with
Yeah.
YouTube Red they get paid no matter what. It's based on views for their content for the YouTube Red exclusives. And then for the like even if I was to watch it just with the ad block on, my view would still add to the value. So the people who do watch it with ads, that it'll pay them more in that
Yeah.
regard. But
Dude, YouTube is so fucking weird. And honestly, I knew something was up with YouTube when I watched Good Mythical Morning, right?
Right.
And when they went from having just their 2 shows to splitting their 1 show up into 4 shows,
yeah,
but
That
they
was
don't have
them-
ads though.
well, I think that was specifically for because they have very specific segments that they do.
Uh-huh.
I think they were trying to make it to where people could watch exactly what they wanted, so that way they can get more views on their individual parts. Because when you have a longer thing like that, you get your dedicated following, but then you get the people who are just like, this is too long. I want to get into this, but I can't because I just don't have the time, or I don't want to dedicate the time, which you should, because Good Mythical Morning, I don't think there's ever been an episode where I did not laugh my ass off at some point.
But but they did that, and then I know that a lot of movie reviewers that I watch and people that do short vlogs and stuff are hurting from that. A lot of video game reviewers are hurting from it.
It's one of those things where you either lengthen the length of your video, which makes it harder when you're a smaller YouTuber to produce more content. Because if you have to make a 15-minute video each time, that's a lot more editing, that's a lot more stuff. And when you're just one person, like a one-man operation, it makes it a lot harder to produce content like regularly, like a video a day or what have you. Like Game Grumps, they have like 2 editors and a bunch of stuff going on at any one point, and they push out 3 videos a day, which is insane. And each one's like 10 or 12 minutes long. But it's always been that way. They don't really change for the formula. But it's one of those things where for them to do all that, it's their full-time everything is just their show.
Yeah.
And
I
they
love
do it
that.
forever. And it's cool and they do a great job, but it's one of those things where the amount of work that goes into making YouTube videos, people think it's just, a guy with a Sony camera just recording something, and it's like,
don't
that's
think
easy.
everybody-
You don't have a real job.
They don't factor in
it's
the
a lot.
editing and shit, the work that goes.
Yeah,
into
just
outside of
like compiling. What's the term? What's the official editor term? I can't remember. Rendering.
Yeah,
Just to
rendering,
render the
yeah.
video, it takes hours to let it do its thing, and that's electricity. That's hours that you can't do other things. Like shit like that's insane.
Yep. Just to actually, one of the guys I watched some nerdy Star Trek stuff. He was just saying that he got enough Patreon, thanking everybody and sending like rewards out to people.
Yeah.
Because he got enough money to upgrade his PC now, so he can render because I guess it takes him like 6 or 7 hours to render a video.
Yeah.
So
Now it'll take less, so you can make more content, which is awesome.
Exactly, which is awesome. Actually, he does lore videos, like Star Trek, like lore videos.
I love lore YouTubers because there's a few who do them for like the Dark Souls series and Bloodborne, which by the way, Bloodborne is free on the PlayStation. So get it. It's a fantastic game, and even if you don't like it, you'll have it on there, so eventually you can try it out again because it's really good. But like the lore videos for those are fascinating, and I love lore videos. So that's really cool. 'Cause Star Trek is a really extended universe, so there's a lot of lore to go over.
Yeah, lots of fucking nerdgasms. I watch lots of YouTube and nerdgasm over stuff all the time. So
Hell
But Jordan, that's fucking crazy stuff, man. I can't believe that guy was a fucking ding dong. I love ding dongs. I really do.
They're delicious.
They make what we do easy because it's like, let's talk about this ding dong. We're like, all right, cool. You know,
free content.
Hell yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. If you guys know of any crackpot conspiracies floating around, let us know so we can talk about it and make fun of it for your enjoyment.
PBnJ podcast at gmail.com, please.
The letter N.
Letter N.
If you're a ding dong.
If you're
you know what? How about this? How about this? If you're a ding dong, but you want to prove you're not and that your conspiracy is real, we will give you an exclusive interview on our show. We will interview you live.
Absolutely.
We will talk about it.
Yeah,
like, you can convince us. Give us your case. Hit us up. We're ready.
Hi, I'm a ding dong.
All right, Mr. Ding Dong.
He's always got to have a southern accent.
We could be like the Shark Tank.
My mama said I got a defunction.
Okay. Okay. And what's your conspiracy?
Well, I think alligators is actually pretending to be purses to take over the world.
Valid point.
You know, I'm going to have to give that to you, Mr. Ding Dong. That is a solid theory. I don't even need more evidence. Congratulations. Hall of Fame.
All right.
That could be you, Ding Dongs. That could be you. Hit us up.
That could be you guys right there. That guy was weird. Fucking weirdo.
What a ding dong.
Everybody knows crocodiles are behind the alligator purse conspiracy.
Yeah, alligators are crocodiles. Come on.
Jeez.
That's the real conspiracy. They just have they just give themselves overbite so they can.
I believe that crocodiles are not real. That crocodiles are actually alligators with bad teeth.
Also, I believe that formaldehyde is making frogs gay. Oh wait, that was Alex Jones. Never mind.
I also refuse to believe that there's a difference between a sheep and a goat. They're the same thing. One's just
same fucking animal. Come on. One just took off his clothes. It gets hot.
Yep.
Fucking facts.
I refuse to believe that Jordan's luscious locks are real. Definitely fake.
All right, I'm gonna have to stop you there, Ding Dong. I have touched his luscious locks. Not only are they extra luscious, they are real. 100%.
You are so kind.
They're also locky in that
super
they can hold a boat up. So moving on.
I wanna talk about a few things. I'm gonna let you guys choose because I don't want to take up a bunch of time. There's two different things I could talk about. One I could save for next week, depending on your choice. So I'm gonna give you a choice. I can either talk about a few ways we're trying to stop potential Armageddons, or I could talk about some real world problems that are hitting us up in the video gaming world and how we're ruining games. So, PBnJ podcast vote. What do you want?
Honestly, whatever we're about to talk about, I think is going to be our last topic because I think we're actually pushing an hour, and I don't want everybody to.
Oh Jesus, are we? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, the video game one's cool. The apocalypse one is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Do you guys know what geoengineering is? Have you ever heard of that?
Does it have to do with the thermal plants?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
yeah.
No. So, but it has to do with like,
no.
The world. If the world was going to end,
Mm-hmm.
because of some kind of climate issue, like climate change, we can essentially geohack the planet. Like have like big boats that steam that are going around the ocean, like shooting steam up into the air to like force, like geoengineering.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like that kind of shit.
That Snowpiercer movie train.
No, I guess kind of. But yeah, I mean, so essentially what I'm saying is I can go either way, video games or apocalypse.
Well, since you brought up geoengineering, I'll go apocalypse because some of these are exactly that. Like, you guys know Yellowstone National Park, right? You know that it's basically one big super volcano.
It's gonna kill us all.
It's gonna kill us all.
To erupt any day now.
It's Pompeii version 2.
Just know if you need to run from any apocalypse, always have a limo nearby.
Yeah. And then you can go. You can drive through it with buildings collapsing all around you. Even though this is an eruption of a volcano somewhere else and it's ash that's going to kill you, the buildings will still fall over. And then you can just barely, and then you can launch the limo, jump out of it, land in a plane, and then have that take off before a building crashes on it. And then
while getting a blowjob,
probably. You could do it.
That's fact. Yeah.
You're Dwayne the Rock
Well,
Johnson,
that's
right?
fiction. That's fiction for me because what's a
You don't
blowjob? Continue.
You don't get blows. So NASA has been looking at that, and they're like, we don't really want to die, and we're kind
I
of nervous
agree.
about the fact that we might.
Legit.
We should do something about that. You want to know what their great plan is?
What's that?
This is a super science plan. They obviously took some pointers
wait,
from the movie
wait.
Armageddon.
Hold on. They're gonna go and they're going to use a laser train.
Okay.
And they're going to drive the laser train down
Mhm.
through the super volcano and then go even deeper and make a drain.
You're not entirely wrong.
there a
They
laser
do
train?
want to
They're gonna get the
drill.
world's best oil drillers.
And send them to space.
And only they can do it. Even
Only
though
they can do it.
there's other people who would be better
For some
qualified.
reason.
It's easier to train them to go into space than to
And
train astronauts.
It's easier.
Than to train astronauts how to operate a
Yeah.
oil drill. Yeah. 100%.
I'm still on board with that.
Okay, so they want to drill into the super volcano and just
Okay.
fill it full of water. And then they want to set up geothermal plants where they're going to fill it full of water. So when the steam shoots up, they can convert that into a clean source of energy. And
Okay.
they,
So
they
making the
basically want to
electricity is a really
depressurize
good
it by cooling
idea.
it.
However,
Mhm.
I feel like that's a bad idea.
Would
Why?
that solve it though?
Hold
Like,
on. How about
Yeah.
this? How about go test it on a little volcano and then
I mean-
test it on one that's like a little bit bigger
make a
and
Because
then a little bit
it'll
bigger.
essentially
Like,
turn
I
into
need
a
you
giant
to,
kettle.
I need
and-
them
and
to do
create that into a lab though, right?
Well, yeah,
No,
they
no,
can
no.
they can test it, but
They got to do this shit like 15 times or something. No,
that would
because
be expensive.
because I'm sorry, but they're not drilling into the fucking end of the world volcano that's literally under Yogi's house.
Mhm.
I'm not okay with this.
Yeah, I wouldn't want like the first time they test it where they're not 100% sure to
Obviously,
be
they're going to run tests and they're going to do stuff. They're not going to go, all right, we thought this. Let's fucking do it. Get some oil drillers out there. We'll hack the planet and drop
We all
some.
work in the corporate world, and we know that when they say they tested something, they mean they thought about it. It's fine.
they thought about it, they put it
I don't know.
into
I have a little
calculator.
more. I have slightly more faith in NASA than I do in the corporate world, personally.
In
But-
any company redacted, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But essentially, it'll depressurize the volcano to where it can't build up enough to erupt, because it's just constantly literally letting off steam. And then we just use that steam to power turbines and then get electricity out of it, which would be cool. So that's one idea that they had, and
not
that's
the
something
worst
cool.
idea.
It's the only problem with it is it'd be insanely expensive, and no one would be willing to pay for it because the amount of time it would take for them to do, and how much money it would take. All the current politicians would be out of power, and they're gonna be like, people are gonna be mad we spent that money. Let someone else handle it. That's basically what's gonna happen. So we're probably all gonna die anyway. So we'll ignore that one. Moving on. So I sent you guys an article specifically about this, which is one way that we're thinking about fighting climate change, which is turning CO2 into rocks. Basically, they want to separate from the emissions. 90% of emissions are like just steam, so they'll leave that shit alone. But they'll separate from that steam the CO2 and like the hydrogen and all the other shit, and they're going to turn it into, by adding water to it, they're going to turn it into a form of acid. And the carbon acid has this weird effect when it interacts with lava rocks, to where if you dump it underground into some lava rocks, it'll eventually like bond to them, and then it'll be pure CO2 in a rock form, and then it won't be released in the world. And what I'm curious about is what we could potentially do with CO2 in rock form, just in general. Like, what can we make out of it? I feel like there must be something cool, because carbon makes up literally everything from a pencil to our body to the most powerful metal on earth, vibranium. All of it's just forms of carbon at different levels. Wakanda's real. So Iceland is actually carrying out an experiment, and they were able to get it to do it. It's a lot harder than they thought it would be, because they thought it was going to be hard for it to turn into a rock. That ended up being the easy part. It's the separation they're having trouble with. So when they're separating it, it's bonding with some of the equipment and fucking it up. So once they figure that out, we can pretty much knock out like 95% of the carbon from emissions and just bukkake that shit into some rocks and turn it into rocks.
Yeah, but it still doesn't make it green though, because you're still.
It won't make it green by any means, but this is like we need to stop what we're doing now, and then this will give us the time we need to switch over to better, because we're going to be reliant on fossil
better
fuels.
Ideas. Now, I don't exactly understand how this system works, right?
Right.
But there's this idea that you can start to reverse carbon emission effects, because honestly, the carbon emissions or whatever are bad, right? But the reason that it's bad is because it's greenhouse,
what they do, yeah.
Right? So causing hot spots, affecting the weather, cold here, hot there, whatever. Global warming. People are dumb and they think, oh, it was hot, so it got really cold this winter.
So it's not real.
Oh, there was a blizzard. Global warming. It's not real. I'm like, not how it works, but okay, I guess. But
you didn't go to 6th grade science.
I know, right? But there are speaking of science, like, so there's these scientists, right? And they have a solution called cloud whitening. And it's, I guess, yeah, and it's where they're seeding.
It's that new Colgate.
Damn right.
They're marine stratocumulus clouds with copious amounts of tiny seawater particles. Something about putting the seawater into the clouds in its current form somehow reverses carbon emissions. I don't fucking know.
Or at the very least cancels out the effects. The emissions will still be there, but it
cancels the effects of those emissions by strengthening or by helping to clean the carbon dioxide out of the air via water. So
the only thing that sketches me out about that is that'll probably be like some acid rain type shit.
Here's what's crazy is that the scientists that want to do it, they have to wait for international support to do it legally.
Okay.
Right.
So the technology is already in place and they're like, we could do this.
Well, to the point where there's actually people doing it illegally.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We have like
there's a massive illegal geoengineering project was detected off of Canada's west coast. This is something I wanted to talk to you guys about.
Is it like Canada Black Ops, or they're like, okay, the world's ending. We kind of want to stop that, but you guys won't let us, so we'll just do you all a favor.
Ocean fertilization experiment, which is violation of 2 United Nations
doctrines,
rules, right? Outraged environmental, legal, and civic groups. Iron sulfate was dumped in the Pacific Ocean just recently. Now confirming effects. Artificial plankton bloom, 10,000 square meters in size. The intention of the project is for the plankton to absorb the carbon dioxide and then sink to the bottom of the ocean.
That is fucking amazing.
Which it's dope. It's a great idea, but they're doing it illegally, and they didn't wait.
And
for international sport
with the plankton blooms that they're having, it'll probably have effects on the ecosystem, and it'll affect that. So I can understand why they would be sketched out about it, but at the same time, if it's sinking to the bottom of the ocean, that just means that the scarcity of food down there will be less scarce because there's a bunch of plankton to eat now, and now certain fish will get bigger. That's it.
Okay, sure. And there might be problems years later or whatever, but now
then we'll just geoengineer those. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just saying. What could be worse than, like when we started driving cars and burning fossil fuel, we didn't really know any better. You know what I mean? And now we know better, but it's too late where a
lot of the damage has been done.
Not only that, but our society couldn't exist without it.
Yeah, we are guaranteed to at least have another 50 to 100 years of reliance on fossil fuels as our primary source of energy.
Yeah, and it'll be weaned off. I mean, I can imagine before our lifetime's over that we'll
have a clean, reusable source of energy.
Yeah, well, they already have the cold fusion, not cold fusion.
Not cold fusion.
Fusion is a thing now. Like, we could do it now. It just takes more energy to do than it produces, but we can do it now.
Well, not only that, but also
eventually it'll get to the point where it needs to be.
Another big problem is that if we had a replacement like right now, there would be a huge economic fallout Because a lot of oil companies, a lot of jobs
coal
would be
miners,
lost.
man.
And granted, there would be new jobs out, but it's one of those things where
not for your coal miner, not for your oil guy, it's going to be jobs that are out of their
go work for McDonald's.
Exactly. Don't worry. I hear they're getting $15 an hour soon. So
hopefully.
Not if they keep being slow. Fuckers.
It's funny though that you mentioned putting like ocean water in the air, because there's another form of wave that we want to use to prevent another form of apocalypse, which, you know how sun has sunspots and it can cause like outages and shit like that.
Yeah, it's like old people.
Exactly.
I was just gonna make that joke, you fucker.
You bastards. But in like 1859, we had a huge sunspot that took out all of the telegraph systems in the United States. And I think it was more than just the United States, but again, telegraph wasn't all the way, everywhere. So it wasn't well known. But essentially, they know that it'll probably happen again. And so there's an idea to send out a giant copper ring, essentially, around the planet that will act as like a shield against the radiation from the sun, and it would cause it to where it would act as like a shielded cabling for all of our stuff, so that way the sun can't fry our electronics with just a big EMP pulse.
That would be cool,
wouldn't it? That would be sick, because they found out
how are they going to do that.
They found out that there's this there's something called very low frequency, which is a special type of radio signal that is used by submarines because it transmits really easily through ocean water.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, they found out on accident that it kind of gets caught up in the air. And when it happens, there's like radiation. It acts as a radiation shield. These frequencies, they cancel out some of the radiation and block it. And they were like, oh, that's cool. What if we tried to do that instead of accidentally did it by talking a bunch in our submarines? And the idea they had was just to make a giant copper ring, send it out in front, and it's like a magnetic deflector to where when the sun sends out its radiation, it'll like cause it to deflect away. And so the Earth's here, the ring's here.
Somebody turns the dial the wrong way, and it
makes it all hit us extra.
Yeah, and it's like one of those fucking when you go to burn the ant with magnifying glass. And you it'll
be like it'll be the scene from The Core when they melt the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh my god!
And then it's over.
Gotta send people up to drill through the copper ring.
Yeah, and then
send the fucking oil guys
because it's easier to we just always have to find something to drill through. That's the moral of life right there. Just
ultimately, the whole point is every apocalypse can be avoided if we just take those coal miners that are going to lose their jobs and put them in space. I just solved the economic crisis. We did it. Prevent the apocalypse and give them jobs.
Good fucking job.
Butter for president. Butter for world president.
Butter for my government. Biscuits.
Illuminati, I'm open. I'm available. I'm not going to sell you my soul, but I could be a pretty good puppet.
Look at me make this triangle with my hands. I'm making a triangle with my hands right now.
And it's above his forehead where the third eye
is. I will sell my soul. I know you can hear this. I will do that. I don't care.
We just get a message. Stay right the fuck where you are.
Oh man. Are we close to wrapping up, guys? I'm pretty sure.
I think we nailed it.
I think that it's currently 2 a.m. 2:04 a.m.
Closing time.
Closing
the show will probably not be put out tonight.
No, probably not, which is fine. Which is fine.
No, it's going to be put out tonight. It's just not going to be put out this morning.
But
on a technicality. Go fuck yourself.
You bitch.
But yeah, definitely watch for some updates on social media. Definitely watch for, shit. Hit us up on our things. Jordan, what are our things?
Our things, Facebook, PBnJ podcast. Of course, that's where we do the primary posting of all of our things. Right. But you can also find us, of course, on Snapchat and Twitter, both at PBnJ podcast, or just give us an email if you want some updates that way, or you want to share some stuff with us. PB_NJ podcast at gmail.com. And of course, if you are not listening to this, if you're watching this, visit us at our fancy new website, pbnjpodcast.podbean.com.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're listening to this, not watching this,
Check out the website anyway.
check out the website anyway because we got shows and shit.
And send me an email because I'm bored.
Yeah.
This.
But yeah, guys, on that, I think we definitely fucking nailed it for sure.
Oh, yeah. We nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
That was a sick ass show.
You think it was good?
I think it was good.
Yeah, I think that was good.
We had pretty good flow. We talked about stuff.
It's because you napped.
It's because I napped. I take credit.
Good man. Good man. Hey, what are we naming the show?
No fucking idea.
Wakanda guy thinks that's a UFO.
That's fucking phenomenal.
What was it? Say it again.
Wakanda guy thinks that's a UFO.
That's hilarious.
That's my vote.
No, I think we should do that. I think that's fucking amazing.
Okay.
I totally agree. That was fucking fantastic.
All right. Also, guys who are watching this video or did watch this video, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We fucking love you all. Go to our website.
Deuces.
Do it.